If you have the right tires and enough skill, almost any car can be driven in the snow. But that's like saying any computer is a laptop if you're strong enough. The fact is, some cars are just more suited to winter conditions than others. Here's a list of the top 7 enthusiast cars that will perform well in all weather conditions and can be bought for less than $20,000, starting with the most expensive and ending with one that's less than $5,000. Introduced in 2017, the C43 was Mercedes' middleweight AMG, but its performance is nothing like average. With a twin-turbo V6 and a 9-speed automatic transmission, the C43 can accelerate 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds, on dry tarmac at least. It produces 385 horsepower, and the German luxury brand sold it in both coupe and sedan configurations. But where other sports sedans struggle, the C43 can be driven year-round thanks to the Mercedes 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. It also comes equipped with standard heated seats and plenty of insulation. So not only can you stay on the road through the harsh winters in Beverly Hills, but you'll be doing it in sublime comfort. Although it's the most expensive car on our list, the Mercedes AMG C43 is still firmly under the $20,000 limit, with some examples depreciated all the way to $18,000. Muscle cars in the winter can either be a lot of fun or your worst nightmare. With high horsepower and rear-wheel drive, they aren't well suited for icy roads. But in 2017, Dodge challenged these preconceived notions with the Challenger GT. This upgraded trim level came with a brand new all-wheel drive system, a first for the mainstream muscle car segment. It may only be powered by the standard 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, but it will happily mow through snow, ice, and sleet, while the V8s are trapped in their garage for months on end. In fact, some reviewers even called it the only winter-friendly muscle car. Despite being 2 cylinders short of the big leagues, it still produces a respectable 305 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. Dodge also gave the GT some upgrades in the interior, like an optional heated steering wheel and 18-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. In the 8 years since its debut, the Challenger GT has lost more than half its original value, with used examples selling for as little as $16,000. The Kia Stinger is another unlikely option for winter enthusiasts. The Korean brand is mostly known for cheap economy cars, but in 2017, they threw their hat into the sports car ring with the Stinger. Offered with a 300 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder and a 368 horsepower twin-turbo V6, the Stinger went toe-to-toe with European sports sedans at a fraction of the cost. It had style, space, and plenty of speed. Though typically rear-wheel drive, Kia did offer an all-wheel drive version that came with standard all-season tires and reduced the top speed to a mere 149 miles per hour. Unfortunately, this do-it-all sports sedan had the poorest sales in Kia's lineup, and production was ended in 2023. The good news is that used Stingers can be found for just $15,000. If that's still a little outside your budget, don't worry. The last 4 cars are even more affordable. It's impossible to talk about winter sports cars and not mention the Subaru WRX. Since 1992, the WRX has been dominating both rallies and streets of any terrain in any conditions. Originally developed on top of the Subaru Impreza, it was split off into its own model line in 2015. That same year, Subaru gave it a 2-liter turbocharged flat-4 engine, which makes 268 horsepower in the base model. The Boxer-style motor is intended to provide smoother performance than a typical inline-4, and comes with a unique soundtrack to boot. It's also offered with a 6-speed manual transmission or a CVT. Thanks to its roots in mixed surface rally racing, the WRX is more than capable of handling winter conditions, with symmetrical all-wheel drive and a driver-controlled center differential in the upgraded STI. This allows pilots to switch between different modes that adjust how power is divided between the front and rear wheels, optimizing traction for any weather. Best of all, a used WRX can cost as little as $12,000. There are technically 2 all-wheel drive sports cars called the R32, but for this list, we'll only be discussing the Volkswagen R32. Based on the Mark V Golf, this generation R32 was a limited edition hot hatch introduced to the United States in 2007. Only 5,000 examples were produced, each bearing a host of minor upgrades over the standard Golf. The exterior has a little more chrome trim, exclusive 18-inch wheels, and dual-center exhaust pipes. The upgraded 3.2-liter V6 engine makes 50 more horsepower for a total of 247. That extra power is a requirement, since the upgrades also increased weight to 3,300 pounds. Much of the extra baggage is thanks to the revised drivetrain. Unlike the standard front-wheel drive models, the R32 comes with an electronic all-wheel drive system that Volkswagen calls 4Motion. It's a unique hot hatch with the rare ability to be driven year-round, and used R32s sell for as little as $10,000. Finally dropping into the 4 figures is the Audi TT. This iconic German two-door sports car has been around since the late 90s. The Mark I hit the streets in 1998 with a 1.8-liter turbocharged inline-4 producing 180 horsepower. Later models were also available with a 250 horsepower VR6 motor. The TT became known for its unique and compact styling, and Audi embraced this perception with special packages like the Baseball Edition. Underneath all the stitched leather, the TT was offered with anti-slip regulation traction control and Audi's famous Quattro all-wheel drive. Originally developed for rally racing, Quattro really set the TT apart from competitors like the Z3 and Miata when it was added in 2000. It also had another thing those cars aren't known for: a roof. Although nearly half of the first-generation TTs were soft-top roadsters, there are still plenty of coupes out there on the used market, and they'll only set you back around $8,000. Finally, the last car on our list of all-wheel drive enthusiast cars, which can be bought for $5,000 or less, is the Infiniti G37X. This Japanese luxury platform shares a lot of its internals with the Nissan 370Z. That includes its 3.7-liter V6 with variable valve timing, which produces over 300 horsepower, and it has an impressive redline at 7,600 RPM. The X trim came with the addition of Nissan's ATESA system, an acronym which means Advanced Total Traction Engineering System for All-Terrain. In the G37X, it can electronically adjust the amount of torque split between the front and rear wheels. On top of this platform, the G37 came with attractive exterior styling, aluminum interior trim, and it was offered in coupe and sedan configurations. A convertible did exist as well, but sadly only for the rear-wheel drive models. Today, a used G37X can be purchased for right around $5,000, offering quite a bit of performance for the price. Let me know in the comments what you would choose to drive through the winter. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe.